Right? That Woody's in Mars at Mars right now. He's on Mars 1. I want you guys to finish your
Then Woody
regrets.
could be the one ruining his stock prices on Twitter with his neurotic takes.
I want you guys to finish your regrets for sure, but don't let us forget to talk about Elon Musk's appearance on Joe Rogan today.
I have not watched that, but
I have only watched about 40 minutes of it, but I gleaned enough from that to have some opinions.
Let's hear about that. I think I've read.
All right, so he's got this thing. Let me get the exact name. This neural hookup thing he's doing. Elon Musk.
Fuck that guy. He named this kid. That's bullying.
Wait, what did he name his kid?
A series of numbers and letters. Right?
How's it pronounced?
He explains how it's pronounced on the Joe Rogan podcast. It's really a placeholder name, is the way he explained it for the most part. Part of his name is like A24, and I think that was the precursor to the SR-71 Blackbird. And Joe's like, why? And he's like, because it's a cool plane. It's just a placeholder name. Let it go. That kid's got enough money that nobody's gonna make fun of his his weird fucking name. So he talked about his neural interface, which is one of his 4 main projects, right? He's got SpaceX, he's got Tesla, the Boring Company, and sort of his third priority out of the 4, third most important, is this neural interface thing that he's coming up with. And the idea is they are going to cut out a piece of your skull about the size of a watch, like a 32 millimeter fucking chunk. And they are going to implant this device, and it is going to connect directly to your brain with wires. It's going to have a battery in it. It's going to have Bluetooth connectivity. And he thinks that it has the potential, and just saying what he said, to do things like connect. And one of the things that seems plausible to me is they would put, it would be able to interface with micro machines that are in your muscles, right? Like if you've been paralyzed, if you've lost the use of this arm, then your brain can't send the signal to that arm because of some nerve damage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this would subvert any sort of nerve connectivity and do it through, I'm guessing, Bluetooth or some other sort of wireless connectivity. So your brain sends the signal to the device. It sends the signal to some devices that are in that muscle that fire electrical signals. And now you can move your arm again. He thinks that not only could you bring back the use of a limb to 100%, perhaps even better than 100%. He thinks that you could become superior using this kind of technology. He also talked about people who had strokes and half their face is paralyzed, bringing that back. People who had epilepsy. There's already devices that do that for epilepsy, but they're external on the outside of the skull, and then the wires go in and they give you a little electric jolt, from the way I understand it, to stop the epileptic seizure. He said that anything that's wrong with the brain, obviously not things like cancer, but misfirings of the brain, non-connectivity, things like the optical nerve in your eye not working anymore, he could fix with this device by forging new connections using this device to the organ that is not getting controlled by the brain currently. Now the brain can control the device, which would then control the organ or the nerve, fire the nerves correctly. Or he promises a lot, but it's not often that he completely falls flat with his promises.
The problem with Elon Musk I have is along those lines. He is 97% full of shit, right? Like at this point, he's supposed to replace taxis with self-driving cars. He said it was a year away, not that long, like 15 months ago. It is nowhere near a year away from even now, right? Boogie, in his whole drama, they told him, look, you buy this car's going to make you money. It's going to go to New York or something, drive fucking people around.
Well, that's a real thing.
This car, it's not a real thing. It doesn't happen. It's not even close to happening. These cars don't pick up passengers and create this like wild taxi service. 97% of what he says, that number is bullshit, just like he is doesn't actually happen. He just says shit like, oh, this is an easy problem to solve.
You are a perennial Elon Musk hater.
I'm also an Elon Musk lover. I feel like he is not afraid to aim high. And I think that's neat.
You are the racist who says, but I like their music.
Well played, Kyle. But
very apropos.
I love fried chicken. All right, I'm not all racist. Some of the shit they do, it's all right, but 97% of it, you know what I'm saying.
When I hear that he's going to build some device that interfaces with your brain and he's going to solve Alzheimer's or paralysis or what have you, I think, no, he won't. Betting against him is so easy. You win all the time. His whole SpaceX thing. He says he's going to He says, I'm going to colonize Mars. What he actually does is have a rocket that lands. And look, rockets that land are kind of cool. I can give you that.
And they're required to do the Mars mission.
Yeah. We're not going to Mars by 2030 under SpaceX. You've heard it here first.
How much you want to bet?
$5. Fuck it. $6.
I thought we did 500, but you got
$1,000.
the appreciation alone. I thought by the time we get to 2030, 500 is going to be like 350 or something. Like God, what a baller over here.
I mean, by 2030,
I'm not going deep on this.
We'll be in the middle of the biggest
cleaning out your ashtray for this fucking bet.
Yeah, $6 I'll put on something like that. Yeah, we're not. He's not going to Mars by 2030 with a person.
I think he'll put a man on Mars by 2030.
A man on Mars.
A man, or
just one guy,
or a woman.
Oh please, $7 on that horse shit.
Yeah, I think it's likely that the first Mars mission will be by gender.
You think so? So they can fucking make new Martians? The first Martian
No, because
ship?
I think that the key to a successful space program is public support. I think that's the biggest key to it, especially if we're talking about a government space industry, which is not exactly what we're doing with SpaceX. But I think that they could get government funding if it's wildly successful and there are people who actually care. The reason we stopped going to the moon is because people stopped fucking watching us go to the moon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what else are you going to do up there?
People would watch Go to the Moon. We haven't been there in a long time.
Well, they might watch us go today, but if just go back to Apollo 13, right, where the networks didn't even carry the broadcast from the module. I'm talking. I wasn't alive back then, but I'm just talking about the movie Apollo 13.
Right. I do know what you're talking about. They expected to get Buzz Aldrin coverage, and they're all like, "No one's watching." But were they going to the moon? Am I crazy?
Yeah, they were going to the moon.
Really?
And no one told them that the country wasn't watching. It was just their families at mission control watching the feed there. They thought they were speaking to America. So they're like, yep, this is this and that, and this is that. And that was by 13. And there were several more missions after that.
Wait, we were just talking about Elon Musk mostly. He was on JRE today, and he promised to create a device that interfaces with your brain, implanted in your skull, and solve paralysis amongst a bunch of other things.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
I want one. I would absolutely get one.
I want to get a preventative paralysis measure. So in case I'm ever paralyzed, it's just like
Well, see, the problem about that, Taylor, is they're going to have to use 2 of Elon Musk's companies just to make it happen. They're going to need the neural interface and the boring company.
just to get in there.
No
get
fucking way.
Dude, I need an Alzheimer's solution. Every time I forget the name of freaking Black Knight or White Knight on reserve, I'm like, is Alzheimer's setting it up? I'm getting old.
It's like in Armageddon when it was easier to teach oil drillers how to go to space than it was to teach astronauts how to oil drill.
Yeah.
They're going to have to call in a team of roughnecks to fucking...
I'm just sitting there, just head in a vice as they're drilling down through my thick ass skull.
We need a good Michael Bay movie again.